Earth, Wind, and Fire. They give us a vision, a fantasy. Let's listen to their first few lines. Talks about a new world, a beautiful world, a world we all want to live in. And then we'll talk about a world none of us should want to live in. I'm furious about it. I have a fantasy. I want to have a beautiful, peaceful world for all God's children. Even the ones we don't want. First slide. In today's news, I'm shocked that there's a new video out about executives from Planned Parenthood, a physician. I taught medical school. I'll tell you, you take an oath to save human life, to do everything you can to make it better. There's an executive selling fetus parts. Those are babies. I don't care if you call it tissue. I don't care if you call it a specimen, a sample. Those are humans that we've killed. And they're selling them to a company here in California. You might say, oh, those Californians are nuts. Yes, we are a land of fruit and nuts, but I don't agree with making money off of dead baby parts. I'm against it. And I might get blown up in my car today. I don't care. I'm going to get this message out. And I can't pronounce it so well. Maybe they can. Cenomix. It specializes in the development of food flavorings. Hey, you're talking about my area, food. They're using, and have used, and will use aborted embryonic cells. That's another term for dead babies. For the production of food chemicals. Remember we had a segment that food companies want you to buy more of their stuff, make it better tasting, they even add chemicals to the cigarettes. Well, the specific name of the cells they're looking for is HEK293. And how do we get that? Remember that acronym, aborted human fetal cells. It's called a flavor enhancer. And when you see these products, you say, wow, that's why I like that. Oh, you'll say, Andy, you're just lying again. They're putting good things like fresh fruits. All the commercials say everything's fresh. Well, they filed a patent and several patents in 2002 to do just that, to take human parts, sequence them, grow them, and put it in your food. Don't believe it? Listen. Next slide. This woman right here, it's a physician. In a video, which you can look up on the internet, there are actually the defenders of abortions, killing people, and not having babies born, that have gone to her defense, and they've asked that that video be banned. That's one of your buddy Obama's favorite words. We're going to ban it. And that just means to put a piece of paper over so you can't see it, but the truth is still hiding. The truth is, this is how, if you look on the right-hand side, that little chart shows how a human develops. A fetus. That's still a human to me. And that woman doesn't believe they're humans. In fact, if you watch that video, she says, oh, now I'm finally going to get my Maserati by selling those baby parts. So here's what we're saying. She was saying she'd rather sell it or buy it, have it sold to a commercial buyer on a per part basis. If they can get a whole fetus, that she would get much more money out of it for her organization. They call it a profit line, add another revenue stream. So this woman who's now against working at Planned Parenthood has come forward. She said, well, she was there. Her job was to draw blood and dissect the dead fetuses and sell the parts to researchers for the best price. To me, that's a very ghoulish practice for a physician trying to save life. They're over here murdering children. And she even confessed during the video that she'd have to amend their practices so they'd get larger growth samples. In other words, bigger babies. Next slide. Well, California has responded. And I believe when Governor Schwarzenegger was here, he enhanced an agency and created it with like $3 or $4 billion. And it was called California Stem Cell Agency. And when you ever watch the news, oh, we're doing this with stem cells. This baseball player can now throw more pitches. We're finding people getting cured of cancer from stem cells. And on the right-hand side is a scanning pictograph showing how that stem cell is harvested. Guess where they come from? From this beautiful agency in a big building. So they've developed a set of regulations to make it all wonderful sounding. They comply with national, international standards. Andy, why are you complaining about that? Well, I'm evil in thinking that human embryonic stem cells are harvested from these babies. And if you say, oh, it's only 1 in 10, oh, it's only 1 in a billion, actually, it's probably closer to 90%. They call it in vitro fertilization, where they actually grow the babies through that process. Next slide. Or they're growing body parts. What is the bottom line? My bottom line today is that this company harvests and grows those cells and then sells that product. Where does it come from? It comes from dead babies that were pulled out of living women. That child will never have a future. That mother will never know that baby. The grandmother will never know them. The brother and sister will never know them. They're dead, and they end up in that product. I've been working in science for a long time. If you put it in there, I always want to know where it came from, how it was produced. So these are human embryonic kidney cells from aborted babies. Call me a liar. I looked it up. You can look it up the same way. So this company produces it, and then they have taste receptor experiments. Does it remind you of Joseph Mengele during World War II? Because it does to me. The ends justify the means. So they take those plates, they put in a taste, and if it turns a color or does some other exam, then it gets better and better. So they simulate the protein, the G protein, and humans respond to it. Next slide. Well, here's the other bottom line. You see all those beautiful products that you're walking through the grocery aisles and you're making your wise choices. They're adding that research product into those products. Look on the right-hand side. You might say, Andy, that's an extreme picture. It should be banned. Maybe. Maybe that should be banned. Or maybe we should be told the truth. The truth is, from the baby, you're pulling up that Pepsi and it tastes so much better than Coke. You might think, oh, does it taste better than Coke because it's somebody's baby? Well, Planned Parenthood, since it's been inception, since it's been operating, it's killed over 52 million black children. How many Michael Jacksons were in there? How many O.J. Simpsons, when they actually could play football, were in those fetuses that we were not allowing because they followed international and national laws? These products have claimed to use aborted fetus cell lines. A line is just another name for a strain. And it's a culture single type of culture that's grown in a lab, and then they replicate it infinitely, and that goes down into the products. Next slide. Well, you might say, Andy, you don't have any evidence of that. Well, I haven't done the research, but apparently there are these products that do use it according to other research. Look at those products. You like Oreo cookies? I used to like them when I was a kid. How about you coffee drinkers? Did you know that aborted fetus elements are in your product? Nestle. And there's a little graphic that's horrible to even think about. It says, refresh your world with Pepsi, now with dead fetus cells. That sounds very sarcastic, and it might even kill sales. All those companies will lose money? Well, my teachers union has a lot of their deposits in with that stock. How terrible you are, Andy. Next slide. Well, it doesn't just end with just food. I'm going to expand it out to beauty products. This company called NeoCutis is just an example. I'm sure there are many more. They have wrinkle creams. They have other products. They use the same technology. And they grow them for 14 weeks. They can only take those cells after a baby's been in a mother's womb for 14 weeks. That sounds great. That's fair. That's beautiful. That's very democratic. It's horrible. It's wicked. It's evil for a society to kill its children like that, not even give them a hope of a dream. Merck, a German company, which, by the way, was supporting the Hitler regime, the Nazis, they also have these antivirus, they're called vaccines, that they use the same chemistries for their purposes. GlaxoSmithKline. Andy, you're talking about a company that puts on all the commercials for my favorite TV show. Yes, the same company. I consider it to be immoral. You might find me in a car wreck, my rental car on the side of the road, because these wonderful companies didn't think my message was fair for them. Just think about the idea of derivatives of aborted human babies. Think about that and take a step. Next slide. I'm not encouraging anybody to be a radical. I'm asking you to fight those companies where it really hurts. Don't buy their crap. Why? Look at that chain. Planned Parenthood. The baby. It's not a fetus. It's not tissue. It's not a sample. The company making huge profits. And then the end product. That wonderful taste of Pepsi. You know, we as humans, we can eat a piece of beef. We can eat a carrot. We can eat an apple. But what do we really like? We like the taste of what we like. And one of those tastes has been scientifically determined. They wouldn't do it if you wouldn't buy it. Gather the information on your own. Figure out what you're about. What are your values? Oh, it's okay, Andy. I don't care if we're just like the Nazis. I like the taste of that Pepsi can. And when I go to the movies, that's all I see. Used to see Michael Jackson dancing around backwards, but now we see happy young people. Make your own decisions. Don't be an automatron. Don't be a sheeple. That's a sheep with people. Purchase the products that you feel are safe and normal. Maybe it's perfectly safe. Maybe there's no bacteria in it. But the fact that there's a dead human in there should concern you. Or even these chemistries to make it taste better are in that drink. You should think about it. You feed yourself. You feed your family. And then you give that money, because you bought those products, to those companies that love to find something to induce you to eat it, to consume it, to keep buying, to come back, to come back. Doritos. I drove with those just this last week. Before I did this research, I didn't realize that those chemistries were used to make that product extra tasty. Product managers monitor what the sales are like on that product every day. They have computer-driven models, some of them from the grocery stores, and what they're looking for is continued exponential growth in their products. If it's just arithmetic, 1, 2, 3, they'll probably get rid of it. They'll modify it to make it better. They'll have test groups. What am I saying to you today? Be moral. Wish for the safety of the human race. Because if they're killing babies, it wasn't very long before Hitler was taking out his enemies and killing them. My bottom line for you today, be moral, be safe, and cripple these companies by not buying their products. I'm not asking for a boycott. I'm asking for you as an individual to make safe choices. Thank you very much. Look forward to the next segment.